Hi, I'm Mayor London Breed. As we celebrate Public Safety Dispatchers Week, I want to thank you for everything you do to keep our city safe. Your work is critical this week and every week throughout the year. I'm especially proud of how you continue to show up and respond during this pandemic. Just this past year alone, you have helped us launch some incredible programs like the Street Crisis Response Team, Text to 911, and Nurse Triage, all while continuing to answer and dispatch more than 1 million calls without a single outbreak of COVID at the 911 dispatch center. This is truly something you all should be proud of. Keep up the great work, and thank you again for your service to our city.
I'm Mary Ellen Carroll. I'm the Executive Director here at the Department of Emergency Management. On this Dispatcher Appreciation Week 2021, more than ever, I remain in such gratitude and appreciation for our emergency dispatchers. This year has been a year of sacrifice for all of you, and you have managed to help us keep the city safe. And just as importantly, you have kept yourselves, each other, and each other's families safe and healthy. This was done not without an enormous sacrifice, and we all owe you a debt of gratitude. I am thrilled to be able to appreciate you this year and every year, but especially after everything we've been through. Thank you.
I'm San Francisco Police Chief William Scott. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the hard work and dedication of our public safety dispatchers who work around the clock ensuring the safety and security of San Francisco. Often, you are the unsung heroes of our city, providing reassurance and a welcoming voice to those calling in search of help. Thank you for all that you do for our great city.
Every year, we recognize the emergency dispatchers for 1 week during April. Realistically, a week is not long enough to honor the life-saving work you perform 24/7, 365 days a year. When there's an emergency, you're the reassuring, steady voice on the other end of the line helping people in crisis. Your quick response and follow-through ensures that your fellow first responders arrive on scene, prepared and ready to render aid. On behalf of the men and women of the San Francisco Sheriff's Office, thank you for all you do. Happy National Dispatchers Week.
Greetings all. I want to express my gratitude to all of you that work at dispatch at DEM. You are unsung heroes who direct us to our calls, help keep us safe, and endure the stresses of hearing other people's crises. I know you have a really hard and extremely important job. I want you to know that you are part of the first responder family and you are all appreciated. Happy Dispatchers Week, and thank you for all your good work.
Hi everyone, I'm Grant Colfax. I'm the Director of Health for the City and County of San Francisco. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank you, our 911 city dispatchers. You have been key partners in our response to COVID-19, including and especially during the early days of the pandemic when there were so many unknowns. You kept coming to work, working long hours, taking the calls, and saving lives. Thank you for everything you have done and will continue to do for our community and for San Francisco. We are very grateful.
I want to thank all the dispatchers for all the hard work and dedication that they have shown during this last year. It's indicative of the type of people that we have. When everybody else was staying home and not able to go, they were coming in on an overtime basis and keeping the city afloat as far as emergency services were concerned. They are a great group of people anyway, and they always rise to the occasion. But this year that's been the most memorable year of all of our lives, they have really stepped to the plate and hit it over the fence.
Happy Dispatcher Week 2021. Thank you for the work you do each and every day. I am honored to play a role supporting it. The work you do keeps the city safe, and I thank you for it.
I'm Sandy Tong, the San Francisco Fire Department's Assistant Deputy Chief of EMS. We at the San Francisco Fire Department are taking this opportunity to thank our amazing 911 dispatchers and call takers. You are the unsung heroes in the 911 system's chain of survival. Citizens don't see you and never will, But without you, our first responders would not be able to do their jobs. So, on behalf of the San Francisco Fire Department's EMS division,
Happy Dispatchers Week!
Thank you!
Hi, this is Lieutenant Jonathan Baxter with San Francisco Fire Department and K9 Zorro. We want to say thank you to all of our dispatchers, communications specialists in San Francisco and abroad for all that you do. You are the first voice and the first responder for anybody experiencing an emergency, and you set the tone for how we're going to respond and ultimately and potentially how it will resolve. I want to thank you for all your help and for putting up with me on my phone calls to you supervisors throughout last year, and looking forward to a very eventful and prosperous year to come. Thank you, dispatchers.
Hey there, it's Gabe Kapler, manager of the San Francisco Giants. And on behalf of the Giants, I wanted to take time to honor San Francisco's 911 dispatchers for National Public Safety Communications Dispatchers Week. It's a mouthful. You continue to come to work during this global pandemic to help people during times of crisis, and we appreciate you and thank you for your tireless and courageous work. You're not only the real heroes in our community, you are the real giants. Take good care, and we'll see you down the road.
This is Coach Steve Kerr from the Golden State Warriors. I want to send a huge thank you to all our San Francisco 911 dispatchers and commend you for your service. You all are our hidden heroes of San Francisco, not just this week, but for every day of the year. From our players and coaching staff, thank you so much for the critical role you play to keep the community safe. Happy Dispatchers Week.
Hi, this is Shaman Walton, President of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, representing District 10. And I just want to take the time to commend all of our San Francisco 911 dispatchers. They take so many calls a day, so many calls a week, and make sure that our people are safe and that they get an adequate emergency response. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your dedication, especially during this pandemic.
I'm Connie Chan, District 1 Supervisor. Today we're honoring 911 dispatchers. We want to thank them. They are always there for our communities, always remain calm, especially in our times of need and during emergency. So let's celebrate them and honor them. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Catherine Stephanie, the District 2 Supervisor, and I want to send a heartfelt thank you to each and every one of our city's 911 dispatchers. This past year has been full of challenges and a lot of unknowns, but through it all, you have continued to serve the people of San Francisco with incredible grace and care. I am amazed by the role you play in keeping our community safe. So on this National Dispatchers Week, thank you for your outstanding service.
This is Supervisor Aaron Peskin. To all of our 911 dispatchers, on the occasion of National Dispatchers Week, for me, every week is National Dispatchers Week. Every single one of you rise to the occasion, day in and day out. I wish we could have you to City Hall, which has been closed for a year, to acknowledge your heroism every day and every week of the year. But from me to all of you on Turk Street, thank you so much for what you do from the bottom of my heart.
Hi, I'm District 4 Supervisor Gordon Marr, representing the Sunset District, and I want to send my deep appreciation to all of our 911 dispatchers for the incredibly important role you play in our city's emergency police, fire, and medical response system. You all do your jobs with amazing grace and professionalism in multiple languages. You're true heroes, and I'm proud to join in honoring you on National Dispatchers Week.
Hey everyone, District 5 Supervisor Dean Preston here during National Dispatchers Week, and I want to say a huge thank you to the 911 dispatchers who work so hard to help people in distress every day across our city. Our dispatchers handle 1.4 million calls per year. It's incredibly stressful work, and they do it with compassion, efficiency, and professionalism, and their work saves lives. So to all the 911 dispatchers, you are the behind-the-scenes heroes. We appreciate you and we thank you.
Thank you so much to our 911 dispatchers. When the thousands of people that call for help or help for someone else, dial 911 or non-emergency, that they have someone on the other line who truly does care, who has devoted themselves to that service, to getting somebody there to assist them. You all in your work is responsible for saving countless lives, without a doubt. And I know it takes a toll on you. I know it's a thankless job. You're not seen in the way that some others are. But our emergency response and our operations as a city and our values as a compassionate city could not happen, could not be actualized if it was not for your service and your commitment to our city and to people who are in need. Thank you, 911 dispatchers. We appreciate you.
Hello, 911 dispatchers. This is Myrna Melgar sending you greetings from District 7 in San Francisco on this lovely spring day. I am just so grateful to you all for your hard work, for having gotten us through this pandemic with grace, with elegance, with respect for our population. We could not have done it without you. I am so grateful to you for your professionalism and for everything you bring to our city. Thank you so much.
Hello 911 dispatchers, I'm Raphael Mandelman and I represent District 8 on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. In honor of 911 Dispatchers Week, I want to thank the more than 150 San Francisco 911 dispatchers for all that you do to keep San Francisco safe. You are the first line of contact for our residents, businesses, and visitors when they are in crisis, and your ability to stay calm under pressure helps save lives every single day. San Francisco depends on you, and we are truly grateful for your service. Thank you.
911 dispatchers, you are my heroes. During the hardest times in our lives, you are a calming voice helping us get through that moment and helping us get the assistance that we need. You are our heroes and our heroines, and I, Hillary Ronan, District 9 Supervisor, want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you do every day during this time of celebration of 911 dispatchers. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
My name is Amal Sharif. I'm a public safety dispatcher for the city of San Francisco, and I've been working here for 4 years. The job of a public safety dispatcher is intense. You deal from everything from like life and death emergencies to noise complaints. So you never really know what you're gonna get when you answer the phone call. It could be something major or something not major, but it's major to the person who's calling. And so then we treat it accordingly. And then also, in addition to the phone calls, we do radio dispatch for police, fire, and medics. So we're dealing with officers doing, routine traffic stops or foot pursuits, or responding to reports of someone getting like shot or stabbed, or, just a little argument. So we do it all. All I knew about this job was what the job requirement was on the job posting. If you told me then what I would be doing now, I would be like, I absolutely cannot do that. I understood like the basics of it. You're answering phone calls, you're on like talking to police, fire, and medics, but anything more than that, I didn't really have any expectations. I was like, I can do that. I was awarded Dispatcher of the Month for an incident that occurred in the Tenderloin. I was on Channel 2, which services Tenderloin and Southern District. A unit comes up with an emergency. He has a carjacking vehicle, so he calls a code 33, which is an emergency, and immediately a bunch of units are coming up on the air to like back him. And then as soon as they're code 4, so they're like good, another unit calls an emergency. So he calls his code 33, and then again, it's like, chaotic once again, because all the units are like coming up for it. And as soon as they give their code 4, which is like, everything's good now, another unit calls a code 33. So it was like back to back to back. And then for this one, they had the carjacking vehicle and it was occupied. I remember the unit was, I think he was in a different district actually, and he was in front of like a luxury store. He didn't know the address. So then I had to Google the address, and then I told him the address. Throughout it happening, you just kind of like have tunnel vision, and you just like know what you need to do, and you just like do it. It's kind of like just like second nature. It is an incredible honor that I am Dispatcher of the Year, just because I, again, have only been here like 4 years, so I consider myself to be a baby dispatcher. Just looking at all the other nominees, they're people who I have incredible respect for, and these are people who I absolutely look up to as like dispatchers and just people. To know that like I was first of all nominated and second of all awarded Dispatcher of the Year, it's like just like an incredible honor for me. And I literally could not be where I am today without like the support of like my trainers, the people around me, the supervisors, like everyone here. This job, you heavily rely on having a good partner. Yeah, you can do something completely by yourself, but you want to help out your peers. Typically, your partner will like, help you back the units, or if you're struggling, put your units on a run. If there's notifications that need to be made, CHP needs to be notified, like whatever needs to be done. It's not uncommon to hear throughout like the room, whoever's next to you, saying like, I got that, I put them on that, I'll do that for you. So it truly is like a team effort. The most rewarding aspect of this job is knowing that you're truly helping people. It could be in like any capacity, but when people are calling you, it's usually, they're having an emergency, they have a question, like big or small, but just knowing that by the time you get off the phone with them, you've helped them and you've made a difference in their life.
Hi, my name is Justin Wong, and I'm the Public Safety Coordinator with the 911 Dispatch Center here in San Francisco. Been a dispatcher for 14 years now. I spent a year trying to be a police officer in the middle of that, and then came back and found that dispatch is really where my heart is and where my home is. I think a lot of us just really want to be public servants. You try to give of yourself in the best way that you can. Dispatch is just really exciting. You're right in the thick of the middle of it, and you know things before anyone else does, and you have an important role in coordinating a response and sending the appropriate response and giving instructions to the callers on procuring information that really sets the stage for a successful outcome. And that's kind of fun and exciting. It's also kind of fun and exciting when all the gears are well oiled, like a well-oiled machine, and everything comes together perfectly on a call too. There's really two sides to dispatching. There's the call taking side and the radio side. And when we talk about call taking, that's the side that everyone thinks. Everyone thinks that that's where all the excitement is, and oh my gosh, you got the call about the baby being born, or you got the call about somebody needing CPR, or somebody whose house was burglarized. And you learn to do that, and you learn to do that fairly well. You're speaking to somebody on the worst day of their lives, and you're trying to procure information from them and trying to give them a set of instructions when they're very distraught. But I think that the radio channel side is actually the more difficult side, and that's the forgotten side, because dispatchers are then juggling a radio channel with about 150 different police officers or firefighters or medics on it, and they're all fighting for airtime, and they all need to have their request processed. And sometimes you're handling that channel in the middle of a true emergency, like a vehicle pursuit or a foot pursuit or a resisting arrest, and those can be just as adrenaline filled for the dispatcher as it can be for the field unit. And at the end of the day, we want everyone to be able to go home safe. The dispatchers care greatly about making sure that everyone stays safe. San Francisco is unique because our dispatchers are universal. In many other large agencies, you have a group of people that work for one department that all they do is police dispatching. You have another group of people in another department that all they do is fire medical dispatching. You might even have a group that all they do is call taking, and they don't even work the radio channel. All of our dispatchers here in San Francisco are cross-trained, they're universal. So 1 hour they could be a call taker, the next hour they could be on a police radio channel or a fire radio channel. And that makes them the jack of all trades, which is really, really cool because they can handle, for instance, a call that requires both police and medical, like a really bad traffic accident, and wear both hats at the same time and give the first aid instructions at the same time that they are procuring vehicle description information and a description of what happened for the accident investigators later. So that's really cool that we get to do that. I think one of the things that surprised me when I first got into this line of work is how intense it can be. This is not a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 desk job. This is not a clerical job. The average dispatcher is taking between 14 to 17 calls per hour, depending on the shift. And that can be really, really stressful. There's almost always another call waiting that you have to race to try to help that person. And you try to race them because that could be your family member, that could be your friend out in the community. And you need to make sure that you give them the best service you can as fast as you can. It's certainly something that you have to learn to cope with. I try to forget every single one of my calls as soon as I'm done taking them as a coping mechanism. The dispatchers have to learn to deal with stress in an ongoing high way. One of the things that happens is we talk about the stress for police officers or firefighters, and they go into their job and it gets really stressful at the beginning of their call, and then once the situation gets code 4, then it kind of dies down and they can wrap up that call. And then later on, when they get sent to the next call, that one might go back up with the stress level. For dispatchers, they come in walking through the door, the stress level goes through the roof, and it stays that way the entire shift. Their adrenaline is pumping because they're constantly done hanging up with one call, the next one's waiting for them, or the next call that they're juggling on the radio channel is another A priority that they're worried about scene safety or the safety of the citizens out there or the safety of the field units responding out.
So Justin, you're being recognized with the Tony Hartley Dispatch Supervisor of the Year Award. What does that mean to you?
I am completely honored to hear and read these quotes from all of my colleagues. Touches my heart greatly. All I try to do is my best every day to support my colleagues. You know, they deserve great support, and that's what I try to give them. And I always try to pay it forward. I'm grateful for the supervisors and dispatchers that looked out for me when I was a rookie dispatcher, and I try to pay it forward and give it to everybody else.